Hi guys, Quigsworth here. Going to show you how I do my GTUS, and I'm going to show you using the cotton hybrid wick that I made in my last video. The cotton hybrid wick has been done using the bluegrass lovers method. If you haven't seen that, it's the video I just made. So get ready to do that. VV Nova, best 14 bucks money can buy. Alright, let's get going here. Let me readjust my camera. Okay. Where to start? Okay, so my GTUS has been modded. I've drilled this hole out to 1/8 of an inch bit, which is about 3.175 millimeters. It's about the same size as the wick well hole in the base. I haven't done it yet, but this wick, when you roll it, this wick, by the way, is 35 millimeter by 35 millimeter, and it's been rolled tight enough to very easily slide in there, and it leaves you almost a millimeter and a half to maybe even a 2 millimeter size hole right up the center. It does actually go into this, but again, I haven't done it. And quite frankly, you know what? I'm going to give that a shot as soon as I've finished building this. I've already put the cotton on this, like you saw in my other video. I glue it down with a little bit of juice so that it doesn't move around on me. I'm just going to take it on faith that I won't have any shorts, because this is not oxidized. This has just been heated with the torch and quenched, heated with the torch and quenched, just to essentially temper it to make it so that it's rigid. It's my 32 canthal. It's already been lighterified to basically take the temper out of it. And here we go. We'll see if I can bang this off in one shot without having to do any kind of retakes. Yeah, by pre-juicing up this wick, it's to glue it down. Tends to make it a little bit more messier to deal with, but meh. Who hasn't got juice in their fingers? Alright, I do a 3/4 wrap. Put a little kink in the wire there to accept the ground, which forever screws me up. So does a basic use function of a screwdriver right now, but what the hell. Try and stay in camera. It's a little tough sometimes. Is it in there? It's in there. Alright. Now, nobody laughed at my positive post. It came pre-bent from the factory, so that it was actually arcing up against my midsection. So I had to take a pair of pliers. I had to bend it so I didn't do that. So now my screw wobbles really good. That's not the end of the world. It's just the way it goes. Still works just fine. Give that one a tighten. Alright, before I fully commit, fire up my meter. and I am going to read .8 ohms. Perfect. Snap off my tails. Alright, I'm going to give this thing another little shot of juice just to make sure it's nice and wet before I screw it all together. Now, another thing, I've actually scratched up my base so that it's in line with the positive post, just so I know where to orient the air hole, which is why I've got the bottom O-ring on here, because the bottom O-ring, it allows you to make an air seal and at the same time, and a juice seal, and at the same time either over tighten or under tighten to so that your air hole isn't lined up at the center post. But that one's been discussed a million times. Everybody knows about it. Again, the 35mm wick is rolled tight enough to allow a fair amount of slop in there, and I just think that's what's needed to get this thing to work. And where's my scratch? There. Where's my air hole? Oh, right there, so I can... Good enough. This other O-ring is just there because, I don't know, because I think it looks cool when you got two. It's my vanity showing. How's that? Juice. Now this thing, if you can see it on camera, this is a piece of flat spring that I salvaged out of a clockwork motor, the wind-up spring. And I put a bit of a bend in it so that the tabs go up and touch in the underside of this thing, and it keeps the tank forced down. I used to use wave washers. I lost all my wave washers and I didn't want to go back to Fastenal to go and get more. And I just saw this in my little mod kit. I'm going, tried it, and I'm going like, wow, that works brilliant. So that's what I did. That's it. Now, let me just unscrew Mr. VV Nova off of my PT. Give this a shot. That's just a stubby extender. I put it on so it'll actually fit in this mod that I put my GTUS in. Oh, it's gurgling in there. Okay. Ooh. Right out of the gate. Right out of the gate, this thing rocks. The cotton batten that Bluegrass Lover uses to rake his wick in, or rake up cotton until that it wraps around his wick, virtually has no sort of like break-in flavor that you've got to vape through. It's pretty much clean. The thread out of that you pick out of cheesecloth, a little bit, but it's still, I know, you're vaping for 20 minutes and then it's gone. This is bat voltage I'm seeing. I'm vaping at 1.75 amps. You can't really, if I had a mirror, you could see it. My little PT's got an ammeter on it, which is about my standard, 1.7 to all the way up to 2 amps, depending on what I'm doing. This thing vapes a ton, and I've set this thing up I don't know how many times using this method. 35 mil by 35 mil wick, bore out the midsection to 3.17 mils or a 1/8 bit, and roll your wick tight enough so that you get a fair amount of wiggle in the midsection. I think that's because that wiggle, that gap, allows air to get back into this tank. And when you've got a top tank scenario where it's essentially a sealed system, you need to get air in the tank so the juice can come out. It's the laws of physics. And once you do that, this thing kills. It really does. And you can vape on this thing trying to get a dry hit, and I've tried trying to get a dry hit on this method, and I don't know what kind of a vaping guy you are, but I can't do it. It's great. That's how I do my GTUS. Queensworth out.